And an episode always weekly. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome to this week's episode of This Is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is a guy who doesn't want to buy a lot of Christmas presents because of Krampus style, Brandon.
No crap my style, and also I like to have a fat wallet. My wallet's kind of like George Costanza's wallet.
No, I had the George Costanza wallet. You've seen mine, right?
I don't think I have.
I was literally just thinking about that like 2 days ago because with all the cards you have to carry around if you want the discounts at various places, it's pretty annoying.
Okay. I believe it.
Yeah, I can't.
Of course you have the George Costanza wallet.
I can't carry it in my back pocket because it just hurts to sit on. It's so bulky.
And that's why I can't stand you.
Can't stand you. Can't stand you.
Can't stand you. I've been watching a lot of Seinfeld lately. Actually, it's been a minute, but them adding it on Netflix, it's become my new go-to.
Yeah, I was just flipping the channels the other day. It's on at night, right? After the news or something. But when I flipped through, it was the ending of that episode where you go, can't stand you. Can't stand you.
You're talking to me like I actually watch TV.
Oh, that's right.
I only stream. I never know what's
Nobody
on.
has two televisions.
We are joined by a guest who we also can't stand.
Thank you for that introduction.
A third wheel guest, if you will.
You know what's funny is Brandon, I was going to text you this weekend because I watched 2 episodes of Seinfeld. And growing up, it was always on either before or after The Simpsons, and I never liked it. I was just too young.
That's why I didn't like it either.
Those are the first 2 I've actually really watched, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I should have texted you, but yeah, they were great.
The
there's
episodes?
one with, the episodes were great.
Which ones did you watch?
The one where it ends with Kramer dressing up as a pimp and trying to get his car from the parking lot that he parked at, and he's pulling out the hooker, the prostitute, out of his car. And then the other one was, what's their neighbor's name?
Newman?
Newman, yeah, where him and Kramer collect bottles to ship them off to Michigan to get 10 cents.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's the side story. Oh, the real story was like the dating story of you can't be rejected if you don't ask them on an official date. Just, all right, I'll see you at dinner this time. And so you can't get rejected from a date. That was the storyline.
Very concrete storylines they have in that show. Hence it being a show about nothing.
Yeah. It was great.
Well, that's our episode. Thanks for listening.
If you didn't guess already, this is Matt, who's been on a couple episodes. I'm always bad at the introductions. And we have him on because Matt has taken on a new obsession.
That is true. It's more, I think you're in the same boat as me though, Brandon.
I don't think I am.
We don't like being scared, but there's a sense of accomplishment when we go face our fears. And
That's
so
true.
it becomes really exciting.
I still don't like it.
And yet you want to go in February, and I'm sure we'll go in May, and we'll go in October. So
we're going to be season pass holders to the haunted house.
Yeah.
Well, they have a season pass, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
They do, yeah. So we're getting next year.
So if you buy the season pass, do you get to go how often and how does that work?
The season pass, I've looked into it. You can go, it's VIP, it's automatically VIP. So you get the front of the line, and it's one time a night. And it's for Halloween, it's for Krampus, it's for Valentine's Day. They do vampires. And then it seems that they do Friday the 13th at least once a year. So this year it's 2022. It'll be in May, so they'll be open that weekend. But I'm not sure if that's included with the season pass or not. But I think it's basically for like the whole year starting in October. So October until the next year, if that makes sense.
So
And we probably should
that's-
say, I was just gonna say we should probably say this is for Dead City.
I know.
Oh.
Like, what are you talking about, Lagoon? No.
Yeah, we're talking
Dead
about
City.
Dead City, specifically their Krampus/Christmas event, which went on for 2 weekends this year, the first weekend of December and then the second one this past weekend. And we went twice. Matt and I went twice, I should say.
Yeah. So Matt and Brandon went together and ditched Nate, and then felt bad and let Nate come the next time.
I didn't feel
That's not how I
bad.
remember it.
Okay. Maybe they didn't feel bad.
I told you we were going.
No. Can I tell my side of the story
All right,
first?
tell your
and then
side of
you
the
can-
story.
Then you can rebuke it if you like. So Brandon on Tuesday of the week they went the first time said, "Hey, do you want to go to Krampus at Dead City on Friday?" Was it Friday?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, sure, let's do it." And then Friday night I get a text from Brandon saying, "Hey, you're gonna go to Krampus?" I'm like, "Yeah, when you going?" "No, we just went." So it's like calling a girl and saying, "Hey, you want to go out Friday night," but never telling her what time you're going, and then be mad at her for standing you up. Am I right? Am I wrong?
All right, here's my side of the story. I told you, hey, we're going to Krampus on Friday. You said, oh, okay. Yeah, maybe I'll see if Rocky wants to go or something. Okay. That to me is this dude's not interested. If he was interested, he's going to say, oh, so we going to Krampus? But you didn't. That's my side of the story.
Well,
It sounds like
you can always text like, "Hey, man, we're going if you want to come." It's that easy. It's that easy. It was funny too because we were coming home around 4:00 on 215, and actually it was probably a little later than that because you could see the light kind of turning on that Dead City does. And my wife says, "Hey, what's that?" And I go, "Oh, it's for Dead City. Brandon wants to go tonight to Dead City."
Little
But
did
he
you know
hasn't
I was
texted
actually
me yet.
there.
But she's like, "But he hasn't texted me to see if we're still going." So I don't know if we're still going. And then 2 hours later, yeah, we already went.
To continue with the theme of the episode, this sounds like a Seinfeld episode because all the premise of that show is lack of communication and just poor communication.
That's
And
true.
that's what we suffered from.
That's
So I'm sorry,
But-
Nate. We did not take you to the first Krampus night, but I think as we discuss, you got a much better experience the second time that we went. And
Yeah,
so
it all worked out in the end. I was just kind of bummed because I thought they only did it for one weekend, but I didn't realize they did it for 2. So
I think this is the first year they've done it for 2. I don't know if they did last year or not, but I think it was good that they did it for 2 so we could have another chance to go. It'll be better next year when we have our season passes.
which I'm trying to get on their website right now. Maybe because they're closed down for this season, they don't have tickets available. But I want to say the season pass wasn't too expensive compared. It's worth it if you go at least in October, December, and one other time that they do it, right?
Yes, so I thought the same thing, and Matt was nice enough to point this out. I looked on there and saw the season pass was $75,
Yeah.
but that was decreased because you were paying for none of October. They lowered it from 100, right, Matt?
Yeah, when I checked in October, they were $100. But that was also towards the end of October, so maybe there's a higher price at the beginning. But yeah, it went from $100 in October to $75 for Krampus and then the Valentine's show that they do.
Hmm.
Which is it's worth it because it's a VIP pass, and the VIPs, like, to buy a single night VIP is $35.
Yeah. So you go 3 times and you've already paid for it.
Then you
Yeah, I
break
paid
even,
for it.
right?
More than that. Like, yeah, if you go 3 times, it's well paid for. but Brandon and I will be going every night in October.
That would be a fun
We're-
challenge for you guys to
We're gonna go
accomplish,
so
every night.
much. Yeah, we're gonna go so much. They're going to change the rules about it. We're gonna be those guys. We'll be scaring them.
So I got questions then. What was the difference between the first time you ditched me and the time I actually went?
When I said at the top of the episode that Matt is obsessed with this, I meant it. He's watched the video 100 times. He has always wanted to go. And so I'm going to default to him because he is the expert and he's watched. You know everything about it, Matt. That's what I'm trying to say.
And future pass holder, season pass holder.
Yeah.
Coming from a guy who was very scared to even go to Frightmares with me. I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't scared because I was terrified. But Matt loves haunts now.
Yeah, I think I do. I'm still scared though, but yeah,
Take it away, Matt.
On YouTube, there's a crowd surfing Utah, and they're allowed to go through the haunted house and record. And so I've watched their videos many times. Although, I mean, I'm watching the previous years and they change it up every year. So some of the main things I noticed when we went the first weekend, we were there at 7:15. It opened at 7:30. We were some of the first people that walked in. There wasn't a huge line. So we missed out on the queue, which is entertaining to wait in. There was no lights. There was no music. The second time we went, there were more people, but the first time it felt like we had more special attention from the actors, if that makes sense. For instance, when there were puppets, there were a lot more puppets the first time, and they scared all of us. Instead of when we went, like for instance, Nate, you were in the front, and there's that at the very beginning, there's that puppet that drops down, that like it's a body that drops down. They only did that to you, and then they pulled it up. When we went, it dropped like in front of all of us, and even though you knew it was coming, it still startled you because this body's dropping in front of you. So, yeah, the first time felt like there was more. We got the haunt to ourselves more, but the second time, I feel was a lot scarier, and there are a lot more people, and there was a lot more fog. That was a big thing I noticed. There was a lot more fog.
There was.
The second time, a ton of fog.
And the first time we went, we basically just walked right in. We went at the very beginning of the night. And even as we were leaving, it wasn't that busy. But the first time, compared to the second time, we had to wait in line for probably, what do you think, like a half an hour or more?
Oh, are you talking about in that waiting area or to get in the actual building?
I mean, we even had to wait outside a little bit for maybe 10 minutes. And then
that was my favorite part because there was nobody at the door to get in. And we walked up. She goes, "Are you VIP?" We're like, "No, well, you got to go around." So basically we walked around 2 rows to get right back to where we were when she told us to go around.
Yeah, but when we actually got into the house after, so they have a photo op at the beginning. When Matt and I went the first time, you got a picture with, I don't know, I'd call him the Heat Miser from The Year Without a Santa Claus.
Scorch.
And Scorch is his name.
Yeah.
And the Krampus character, who is like evil Santa Claus, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about with Krampus.
Germany and
Germany.
Oh, apparently
Scandinavian.
They celebrate it more in Austria than Germany, but it's usually associated with Germany.
Yeah, so that's what Krampus is. And so he was at the beginning with the photo op, and then in the inside, in this one section, they had the Jack Frost character opposite the Scorch guy. And so after that, you go into the waiting room, the place where Matt punched me back at Halloween time. And our first visit, there was nothing going on in there. They had Christmas lights. Everything's decorated for Christmas, obviously. But aside from that, we just kind of walked up and got the spiel about rules and then went in. But round 2, they had a full-on light show going on in that waiting room, and there was a ton of people. So we waited and got to see the whole show, like twice, including the video that scared us again.
Which is really cool. I mean, it's very, don't you think it's very Disneylandish being in that room?
Oh yeah, I love that room.
We could have been there a lot longer than 30 minutes, and it doesn't seem that long just because you're entertained constantly through the music and the animatronics in there. So they do a really good job, and I have no problem waiting in that line.
And this at Christmas time compared to normal times, they have a big Krampus character that lights up and laughs, and it's really creepy. And we went through the haunted house, and it's pretty scary.
But was it really?
All right, that wasn't it. While I really wanted to turn back again, I contemplated every time if I really have to go through with it. And even though Nate was there to protect us this time, I still didn't feel safe. We still had to go through the haunted house.
Yeah, one thing I like about Dead City compared to other haunted houses is, what would you say, the animatronics. So you never know. I mean, usually when you go to a haunted house, you can kind of tell the areas or the spots where someone is going to jump out and scare you for the most part. But with all the animatronics he has, you don't know what thing is going to move or slam shut. And I didn't realize the first time we went through back October. When did we go through the first time? October 2020?
That's correct.
That they have people like above you, like above the set with compressed air things that scare you.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the first time either.
So there's a lot of compressed air, so that kind of gets you where you don't know what's gonna hiss at you or what door is gonna slam shut or cabinet's gonna make a noise. So I think that's kind of fun to not know what's gonna jump out at you. And the other thing I really like too is that they have some kind of real life mannequin type things in there. And their eyes look pretty real. So I never knew if one of those mannequins was going to jump out and be a real person. Did you guys have that same feeling too?
Yeah, I mean, the first time I was doubting it the whole time, thinking everything was going to jump out. But the second time around, I knew what to expect and that none of them would be a person, which I feel like could be the case and would be extremely scary. You know what I mean?
Like a missed opportunity. Like if
Yeah.
they did have one or two people pretending to be a mannequin.
Exactly. I just think that they need more people, and there's just not enough to have someone just standing there the whole night when they can move around and scare you 5 times, which always happens to me, even though I see it coming every time. But if they had the staff for that, I think switching out those mannequins from time to time, especially for people that go back, where you don't know if it's a mannequin or if it's a person this time.
Maybe they do that and we just don't know. Like maybe they do that in October.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Or
yeah,
just for
it
the
seems,
VIPs.
yeah. when Brandon and I went out and there were no actors in there, I would see those mannequins and I would like get way paranoid. Like, wait, I thought nobody was in here. Which I think the effect of those mannequins, the reason they use them is like the fear of like you expect something's going to happen. And so that fear builds up and it pays off for them because nobody's doing anything for that. There's just a mannequin standing there. So I think they're good. And yeah, like you have to get right up to its face and then realize like, okay, those eyes aren't real, but it's really hard to tell.
My favorite part of the whole haunted house was like, you guys maybe go up front, which is fine. I flinch like when something jumps at me. Like if you were to hide around the corner and scream at me when I came around the corner, I would flinch, but it doesn't really get my heart racing, like scared. But we went upstairs where it's the coolest feature I've seen in probably any haunted house is that swamp looking moth that we do. And when we first walked into the room, you could tell there's an actor up there, and she put her hands up through the fog. And I told the girl, I yelled out, "Hey, do it again," because nobody else saw it. And then she comes right in front of me and then jumps up. I can't see her and scares the crap out of me. That's the first time I think I've been like heart racing scared in a haunted house in a long time. So scared that it made me laugh.
I like that part, and I like the fact that you were in front and you were the one that took the brunt of that scare. Because that part always scares me. Going back to the first time you and I went, Nate, and I should have seen it coming, but didn't realize there was going to be a swamp monster in there.
Yeah, the first time I think I saw them, so it didn't really scare me, but that time I didn't see her. And I was expecting her, maybe that's the total thing, is when I told her to put her hand back up, that's what I was expecting her to do. So I threw myself off by doing that, but it made me jump pretty good and laugh pretty good. I loved it.
I think my favorite part of the whole haunted house is the stairs.
You like walking upstairs?
Yeah, because they can't scare you on the stairs to risk you falling and injuring yourself. So
That's
it's
your
always a
safe
nice
zone.
break. And there's quite a few stairs there. Probably, 4 or 5 flights of stairs?
I
I think there's just you go up and down twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what I really enjoyed about this one and why I was okay going again was it's still scary. And the first time, granted, it wasn't as scary as the second time around, but something about it being Christmas with all the lights and they've got presents and all the monsters are dressed as elves and Christmas related things. I don't know. It just got me in the Christmas spirit. It was a lot of fun, and it wasn't really. It's still dark in there, and there's still really dark spots, but there's a little bit more light. And the first time around, I don't know if they had it. I couldn't detect it the second time, but the first time we went through, they were playing Christmas music throughout the whole house. But I didn't notice it this last time we went.
Yeah, there was a spot the second time we went where I could hear music from, it was What's This from Nightmare Before Christmas. But yeah, usually they have this, I wish I knew where they got it, this really creepy Christmas music soundtrack.
Yeah.
And yeah, we didn't really hear it.
The first time,
Which
yeah.
I liked. Yeah, the first time I really liked it. But yeah, it wasn't so much, but I agree that the lights, I feel like the lights lighted up a lot more than like compared to when we went with no actors. It was a lot darker in there. The lights make you feel a little bit safer, all the Christmas lights everywhere. So it's probably not as scary, but it's still a lot of fun.
Right. What do you guys think could be better about it?
Be better. I do like one of my other favorite parts too is the 3D section, even though it is clowns mostly. When we went through, the girl did a good job of confusing us and making us go around in a circle. But apparently you guys had a different experience the week before.
Not the week before, but when we went back in October.
Oh, the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Made you go around in a circle and
Yeah, the first
a
time
few times.
we kind of bottlenecked with a bunch of other groups because there was a hidden door that hadn't been opened. And so we just kept going around and around and around.
And I noticed that the first time we went, they had that part blocked off with barrels. So if you didn't know that was a hallway, like you wouldn't even know you were missing. But I'm curious why they not taped it off, but why they blocked it off. Because yeah, we didn't really do all of the clown part. We didn't miss too much of it, but there was a spot we didn't even go, and they had some really good scares in there when Brandon and I went in October. So kind of bummed we missed that. But yeah, both weekends we went for Krampus, we did a circle and the clowns confuse you and you realize like, wait, I've already been here before and I've seen these people before. And then I don't know what it took this time, but last time we went, they were like, what's the magic word? And I was like, please. And they're like, okay. And they push on a wall that looks exactly like a wall that just opens. It's a door you wouldn't even think about going through unless somebody was there to direct you.
And then everything's psychedelic and you've got the 3D glasses on, so it's even harder to tell anyway.
Yeah, those 3D glasses really do throw you off.
It's really
I
well done.
Yeah, I think my favorite part of the haunted house as a whole is that you're just all senses. You're constantly, there's scares everywhere. Like Nate mentioned, there's animatronics that will go off. So you're not always looking for people. In every room, you're going to get scared. There's puppets that are being controlled by people above you. And then you put on those glasses and your surroundings don't feel safe because you can't exactly see perfectly straight and things are 3D and the paint's popping out of the wall. So just overall for me, my favorite part about that haunted house is that you feel uneasy the whole time. You don't feel safe, if that makes sense. You don't know where the next thing's gonna come. There's noises everywhere. Besides the stairs, there's really not a quiet spot in that place.
You have to constantly be on your guard.
On this podcast, I've discovered, well, not discovered, but I've known a few things. It's been pretty clear on this podcast that I am a backseat driver, and we've brought that up a few times. I'm a backseat driver. The other thing is, it's pretty clear I talk too much when I'm a guest on this podcast. I talk too much, and I try not to. I just can't stop. But the third thing that I discovered this weekend about myself is that I brought a work friend, Carrie, and I was the last person. I was the end of the group, and she was in front of me. And I don't know why I was doing this. I wasn't trying to, but the whole time I'd be like, oh, I love this part. Like I'd get up and whisper in her, be like, this part's so cool coming up. Oh, wait for this. And I don't know why. I guess I was just so excited that I was like, I wasn't ruining anything or telling her, but I'd be like, at one point I was like, I said, am I enhancing your experience with this commentary? And she just started laughing because like each room we're about to enter, I'd be like, oh, this part, I don't like this part, or oh, this part's so cool. And I don't know. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I just couldn't help myself. So I don't know. I guess I've learned 3 things about myself this year through the podcast is I'm a backseat driver. I can't shut up. And I don't know. I guess I was Carrie's backseat driver telling her what's going to happen. So I apologize for that, Carrie.
In
Now
that
I know you
regard,
guys couldn't hear me.
I think that you and I are alike in many ways, Matt, and this goes along with your obsession with Dead City and all the videos you're watching. But I do the same thing where if I find something I really like, good luck trying to get me off of that. Which is why I've been constantly thinking about, I asked you guys what you would like to see done better at Dead City, and I've got lots of thoughts.
All right, Mr. Critic, let us know.
I'll keep it short. There's a few rooms, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, but there's a few rooms that have scents, like perfumes or something like that, which scents are like really strong. That's why people like love Disneyland without realizing it. There's music everywhere and there's scents everywhere. So in some of the rooms there would be like this perfume smell. It would be cool if they did more of that, and especially at Christmas time, do like pine trees.
Gingerbread.
That's a gingerbread. That's a great scent. So they could do more of the scents, but again, you have to be careful with that because like my wife gets headaches or like will get sick to her stomach from too many scents. But I think that's a cool thing added when there's scents in a room, that like it's another thing added to the experience. So
They should
that's
have
my only thing.
actors drink eggnog before, so when they come up and get in your face, you can smell it.
That's disgusting.
Anyways, this isn't critical of me. These are just ideas that I have because I'm always thinking, if I was in this position, what would I do? First and foremost, they now have, October, September. They've got Halloween at Dead City. They've got Krampus for December. They've got vampires for Valentine's Day. I don't see why they just don't keep going with every other holiday. Let's get a president-themed, dead presidents, Revolutionary War type stuff for 4th of July. Some leprechauns for St. Patrick's Day. big creepy turkey for Thanksgiving. I think they just need to
What can
go
you do
all out.
What about August?
August, it could just be hell themed because it's just so hot. But I
They
don't know.
could do Easter bunnies.
Oh yeah, Easter. I totally skipped Easter. A big
Man, there's
creepy
some-
Easter bunny.
Yeah, some scary Easter bunny pictures out on the internet. Imagine going around a corner and seeing an Easter bunny.
Well, there's a scary Easter bunny in Bill and Ted's Bubba's Journey when they're in hell.
Oh, okay. So just take that whole scene and put it in Dead City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's my thing. I know there's costs and time and energy associated with that, but you know, we're gonna get season passes. We'll be there for all the events, right, Matt?
I'll be there. And I'll try to talk to the owner as much as possible.
Yes, you will.
Every time I see him, we'll let him know of our ideas.
See, I think we just need to work there.
I would love it.
We can be consultants.
I would love it. Who
But
needs a family?
But what I would like to see, and again, I know this takes time, planning, and effort, but there was a moment when Matt and I first went through the haunted house last weekend, the first weekend, and we go in this hallway with lightning. It almost feels like kind of a chapel or something, but this guy came out, and he was talking to Matt, saying he was Ebenezer Scrooge, and Matt asked where Marley was, and the guy's like, "Who's Marley?" So that put in my mind, it's Krampus, so you have Krampus in there. They've got the Scorch and the Jack Frost guy. Just go all in on the scary Christmas stuff. A whole section of A Christmas Carol where you have Marley and all the ghosts of... Well, the first two ghosts aren't scary, but you have like the Undertaker guy at the end. You've got a dead Jacob Marley. I think you could throw Gremlins in there. That's a scary Christmas movie. What else? What am I missing, guys? What other scary Christmas stuff could they do? You could have Eddie in there. He's pretty scary. Right, Nate?
I was thinking when we were walking through the doll room at the very beginning, there's dolls hanging from the ceiling, and Carrie, my friend, was like, "Oh, this reminds me of Polar Express." There's that creepy scene in Polar Express where he's in that cart with all the not mannequins. What's the word? Starts with an M. They're dolls.
Marionettes.
And there's a Ebenezer Scrooge marionette, but that part's creepy, and that reminded her of that scene. So imagine having a Ebenezer Scrooge marionette doll and somebody's controlling it from above, which they can do. That would be a pretty cool thing.
Look, I'll take it a step further. I just Googled scary Christmas movies, okay? You've got a scary Mrs. Claus right here. Scary Santa Claus. I mean, you got Krampus, but you could just have a creepy Santa Claus. Or, what's that movie you watched last year, Nate? Fat Man?
Yeah, Fat Man.
Throw Fat Man in there. A scary snowman. Scary snowman. They had scary elves. But I just think there's more scary Christmas stuff that could go in. And maybe those are all in the plans that they're going to implement soon.
Well, have you seen that YouTube video of the guy who dresses up like a real snowman and then he moves and
I
scares
haven't.
people in the cities? So
That's
they
what I
could
was
totally
thinking
have one
of,
of
yeah.
those in there too.
Well, there you go. So, it's not a critique. I think it was awesome. I'm happy with our both experiences that we had, and I think it's a yearly tradition to go see Krampus. If you want to just add more, I'm not going to complain about it.
Well, then Matt will know what's coming, and how will he give his commentary if he doesn't know what's coming?
I'll
That's
go
true.
before everybody, and then I'll let them know. You know what I really think? You guys, as the podcast people, need to just call them and ask if we can do a tour. Because I know other like YouTube channels have done that, where they've called them and say, "Hey, can we come tour?" and then go through the house. And you guys have interviewed the owner, Tim. Next year, we need to just call him and say, "Hey, we're doing a podcast on this. Can we tour the haunted house and then go through?"
Besides, next year we're going to start videos. Anyway, that's a little unconventional Christmas-themed activity for this December, but it was a good one, and I would strongly encourage you all to check it out next year. And if you still haven't gone to Dead City, this is our second episode dedicated to them because we think they're pretty special. Got anything else to say, Nate?
I would just say, don't watch a movie with Matt that he's already seen. Don't carpool with Matt.
That's right. That's a fourth thing. We did watch a movie this year, and I did talk through it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not doing it on purpose. I really not. I'm just so excited about it. And
Oh, we
So,
love
yeah.
you, Matt. We love you,
We love
Matt.
you, Matt.
Oh, it's a good time hanging out.
We
with
do
Matt.
poke fun at you, but we love you. You have to come when we watch It's a Wonderful Life.
so I could tell you how it ends.
Well, everyone knows how
Somebody,
it ends.
it's the first time somebody's ever seen it, and I'm like, don't worry, he's actually dreaming. This whole thing is not real. Just tell him that.
Thanks,
That'll be
Matt.
good.
I've never seen it.
That's right, Nate. You've never seen it.
No, he hasn't. But he's going to this year.
And that's actually not the ending. That's from Click.
Oh, yeah, that is Click.
Oh,
Well, you just
yeah.
spoiled that
Great.
one.
Oh yeah. Sorry, people, for you if you haven't seen Click.
So I got one more question going back to Dead City. Jack Frost, when we first were in line to get into the house, was really on to Matt.
Oh, yeah,
So
he
was there
came and scared
some
him
bad
outside.
blood? Was there bad blood the week before, or that just happened to happen?
I did talk to him the week before. I said, "Hey, it's Jack Frost," when we got upstairs, and he was up there. But no, he got me good. Yeah, we were standing in line, and I had my back turned to the door, talking
And we
to
all saw it
Brandon.
coming.
Yeah, and now that I look back, it was obvious because I was telling Brandon a story, and his eyes, he wasn't looking at me. He was looking past me, and he was like, "Wait, what?" And I started to explain again, and then just felt that presence. And I accidentally, no, he scared me good, and I swung my elbows back, and I elbowed him a bit.
That's your thing. Okay, we've learned a fifth thing. Don't stand close to Matt when he's going to get scared, because you will get
I will.
punched.
I will punch you in the face, or I will elbow you in the chest. Yeah, he got me good, and it was funny. That's what I love about haunted houses. At the end of the night, we go home, and I'm just so happy. It was so much fun. Even Carrie texted me and said, like, I still have a smile on my face. That was so much fun. So even though it's scary, I laughed through the whole thing, and I get scared, and I'll admit that I get scared, but it's really fun, and I just laugh after. So it's really good. I think it's good for mental health. That's my mental health therapy. Go through a haunted house.
Yeah, it was just fun. I mean, it's something different to do for the Christmas season, and it kind of brings two of my favorite holidays together, Halloween and Christmas. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was worth the time and the money
Oh, yeah.
to do.
It's a good time. And we'll have to check out their other events that come up soon. Matt, thanks again for being on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for keep asking me, even though I have 5 issues apparently. You know,
We'll
you
find
guys just
more.
kept-
Don't worry.
yeah, you kept adding to the list, but I appreciate you having me on.
We'll have a whole episode dedicated to top 10 things that annoys about Matt.
It might make it in the Christmas song next year.
But if you guys have me on, I'll talk through the entire thing, so we won't even get to that top 10.
We don't have time.
Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.